Okay, so we're recording now. Okay, sorry guys, I forgot to record 24 minutes of the class, but it's okay. You'll get some good stuff too. Okay, so still talking about Iran. On my Facebook, I saw a very nice video that I'd like to share with you that we can watch together. She is a stand-up comedian. She is Iranian. She was born in Iran, but her family ran away from Iran, escaped because of the revolution that started this regime that is going on until today. Okay. So her family ran away when they had the civil war, when they had the revolution, and there was this repression and horrible. And then they ran away to Britain. So she's British.
What country?
Iran.
Iran. Okay.
Yeah, there's the same story, right? Do you know how this repressive regime, how or when this repressive regime started in Iran? Maybe you heard the name Ayatollah Khomeini. Have you heard this name?
Yes.
So the Ayatollah Khomeini is the guy who started the revolution. Like in Russia, it was Lenin, right? Lenin started the revolution in Russia. You know Lenin, right? Lenin.
Mm-hmm.
Rafael, deve ter caído no vestibular, pelo amor de Deus. So Lenin, you guys know.
Lenin, I know.
And in Iran, it was the Ayatollah Khomeini, who was a very religious, theocratic, authoritarian guy who was the starter of the revolution in Iran. Before the Ayatollah started the revolution, there was a monarchy in Iran. There was a monarchy, and the monarch, Shah Reza Pahlavi, he was extradited. He was sent away to Europe with his wife and his family. And since this happened in 1979, so it was in 1979 that the revolution happened. The Shah, the king, was sent away, and the Ayatollah Khomeini started this new regime, which is going on until today. Okay, it was at that time that this comedian and her family, they were gone. They escaped Iran because of the repression, right? So we can watch her. She's very interesting. I think she's funny, but she's also very, very interesting the way she talks about what's happening in Iran. And do you think it's possible to make comedy, to make jokes about something like that, about some tragedy, people are dying, repression, and it's happening now? So I know we can make jokes about these things after some time, right? After a few years, or I don't know, at least 1 year, maybe people start making jokes. But immediately at the same time, is it possible, or is it sensitive, or is it, I don't know. But she does. Anyway, she does it.
I don't like.
Yeah, maybe it can be insulting, right? It can be an insult. It can be very difficult to do this. But anyway, so she does it. So let's see what you think. If she does it well, or if it's not a good idea. Okay, so you can watch this. She starts talking about the king of Iran, the Shah Reza Pahlavi, and the Ayatollah Khomeini. But she goes on and talks about the protests today. So we can watch it. We can stop and do some listening comprehension. It's difficult to understand comedy, right? Comedy is not easy to understand, because of the jokes, because of the cultural content, because of the vocabulary, but let's see how we do it. Okay, so we can stop bit by bit. And so I'll play a part, and then we stop and see what you understood. We look at vocabulary, okay? So let's go.
Okay.
In 1979, there was a revolution in Iran to overthrow the king, Reza Shah II, who wasn't democratic and had a brutal secret service that tortured and executed people who criticized him. He was replaced by the Ayatollah Khomeini, who wasn't democratic and tortured and executed people who criticized him. The Ayatollah took over, and he believed in free speech, but no freedom after you have spoken.
So, do you understand this part?
Yeah. Yeah.
The first part, yes. The second, no.
The first part, okay. So, Camila, tell me about the first part when she talks about the king and the Ayatollah Khomeini.
She said that the king was a Democrat.
Wasn't, yeah, he wasn't, yeah.
Yes, he wasn't a Democrat, and they torture and kill the people, and they go out and the Ayatollah came, and they are no democratic too,
Yeah.
and torture and kill people too.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But there was a difference, right? The king, he had a secret police. He also oppressed, he wasn't very open to the opposition, right? There was no opposition to the king, but he was a modernizer. He was trying to modernize Iran. He was industrializing, women had freedom, so in terms of o que a gente fala no Brasil, a gente chama no Brasil de pauta dos costumes, né? The king was more open, much more open than the Ayatollah Khomeini, who was completely closed to any freedom of expression, or particularly for women, right? So there's that difference. But the king was not a saint. There were many problems when the king was in power too. Anyway, so Gabriel, did you understand the second part about freedom of expression and freedom of speech?
Yeah, I think she was being ironic, like she was saying that during the Ayatollah period, he defended the freedom of speech. So theoretically, hypothetically, you could speak what you want, but you only have freedom of speech before you speak. After you speak, you can be tortured or
go
killed.
to prison. Yeah, exactly. Let's watch this part again and look at vocabulary. Tell me if you have any vocabulary questions, okay?
In 1979, there was a revolution in Iran to overthrow the king, Reza Shah II, who wasn't democratic and had a brutal secret service that tortured and executed people who criticized him.
Okay, so the revolution to overthrow the king. You understand this?
To kind of replace
derrubar, né? Derrubar o governo. Yeah, to overthrow a government. You overthrow a government. You topple a government is the same thing. So it's what we say. Like in 1964 in Brazil, the military overthrew President João Goulart, right? To overthrow, o passado overthrew. Right. Okay.
He was replaced by the Ayatollah Khomeini, who wasn't democratic and tortured and executed people who criticized him. The Ayatollah took over.
Took over. What is that verb, to take over?
To
take power. It's to replace a government. It's to take power. So he took over. Tomou o poder. He took power.
And he believed in free speech, but no freedom after you have spoken.
Camila, do you understand the second part now?
You are free to speak.
Yeah, but then?
But then?
But then you go to prison.
Okay.
So it's irony, right?
When Gabriel...
She's being ironic. Yeah, she's being ironic. Yeah. Okay, so next.
Anyone who criticized the regime risked death. My father was a very popular satirist in Iran, and the Ayatollah demanded he be executed. So my dad fled to the UK to escape death. Classic snowflake. That's when we became refugees here, you lucky things. It's hard to live up to a dad whose jokes are so good that the government wanted him killed. Now, I know that after tonight, I'll get a few trolls on Twitter, and that will disappoint my dad. You call this a career? 15 messages of hate. You know, in Iran, thousands of people spilled into the street calling for my execution. Death to Khorsandi. Nobody even wants to kill you. My friends, they ask me, is Shapi dead yet? I say no. She's not very ambitious.
Okay, so Rafa, or you guys, how was that part for you guys? Did you understand this part?
Yeah, this part is it was most difficult.
What was this part was more difficult?
Yeah, for me.
What did you understand? Did you understand what she's talking about her father, right? She's talking about her dad. So what
no,
is
I get the context.
Yeah.
She is making jokes about how they want to kill her dad. In UK, they had just haters and trolls and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
But this he said about snowflake.
Yeah, this is a British expression. No. This is a British expression. Snowflake means you are weak. You're a weak person. You're not strong. You're a snowflake. So when she says, my dad, he escaped Iran because they wanted him killed. She said, ai, que fracote, né? Que mariquinha. He just wanted to escape because they wanted him killed. So snowflake. Okay. She's being ironic again, right? She's being ironic. Yeah. My dad is a snowflake. So weak. He runs away because they want him killed. Yeah.
And I think she made she mentioned others named people in the final. I don't know who are.
So she's imitating her father, right? She makes an Iranian accent. She's imitating her father, talking about her, right?
Okay.
Let me play this part. Let me play this part again. Camila, would you like to add anything about this part that you understood?
She said her father was a comedian, and because of this, the government would like to dead him, so they escaped to United States, and now they are refugees. After that, she turned comedians too, and she's after that she grew up and became a comedian too.
Yeah.
And now the people ask her friends ask if she is until dead.
She's dead, yeah. Her father's friends ask him if she's dead, because that's the mark of a good comic in Iran. If you are a good comic, you're dead. So if she's not dead, is a sign that she's not a good comic, maybe, right? That's, again, she's being ironic. Just one correction, Camila. Refugiado is refugee. Yeah. And the family, did they escape to the United States? Where did they escape?
What?
The family of this woman, her father and the family, they escaped Iran. Where did they go when they escaped?
UK.
The UK. They went to the United Kingdom. Yeah, the UK, right. So let's listen again and look at vocabulary, okay?
After you have spoken. Anyone who criticised the regime risked death. My father was a very popular satirist in Iran, and the Ayatollah demanded he be executed. So my dad fled to the UK to escape death. Classic snowflake.
My dad fled Iran, fled to the UK. What is this verb? This verb is to flee. The past is fled.
Fly.
What does it mean?
Flow?
No, it's not fly, it's flee, right? Flee, fled, which means to escape. It's the same as escape. Yeah, it's another verb.
That's when we became refugees here, you lucky things. It's hard to live up to a dad whose jokes are so good.
It's hard to live up to a dad. What is this expression? To live up to a dad?
Like to be as good as your dad.
Exactly. To live up to is to reach the same level. Yeah, it's difficult to live up to him, to reach the same level, to be as good. Yeah.
That's when we became refugees here, you lucky things. It's hard to live up to a dad whose jokes are so good that the government wanted him killed. Now, I know that after tonight, I'll get a few trolls on Twitter, and that will disappoint my dad. You call this a career? 15 messages of hate. You know, in Iran, thousands of people spilled into the street calling for my execution. Death to Khorsandi. Nobody even wants to kill you. My friends, they ask me, is Shapi dead yet? I say no. She's not very ambitious.
Any questions about this part?
Now I get it.
Yeah, it's difficult to understand humor, right? There is context, there's irony, there's plays with words, so it's not easy to understand. But okay.
When she said thousands of people spilled in the streets,
right?
It's like an expression to.
Yeah, the verb to spill, you know what it means. Literally, to spill is liquid. You can spill liquid, right? To spill. But people spilled onto the street is like a maremoto de gente, né? Like a big wave of people spilled. So they use this. It's common to use this verb for that. People spilled onto the streets to protest or something like that. Any other questions? Vocabulary questions? No.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue.
The new regime introduced very repressive rules designed to oppress women. It's always rules to oppress women, isn't it, Rachel? Never the blokes.
Does feel that way, yeah.
It's never 50 lashes if you make your wife a cup of tea and turn to a visitor with a wink and say, she's got me well trained.
Okay, do you understand this? There's some, this part of things, there's some vocabulary here. Should we listen again and look at vocabulary?
Okay.
The new regime introduced very repressive rules designed to oppress women. It's always rules to oppress women, isn't it, Rachel? Never the bloke.
Who are the blokes?
I assume never the man.
Guys, yeah, blokes are guys, blokes are men. Yeah, in the United States, in the United States they don't use the word blokes, but in England and in Australia they use blokes. In the United States they use guys, never the guys, but in England they use the word blokes to talk about men. Yeah.
Does feel that way, yeah.
It's never 50 lashes if you make your wife a cup of tea and turn to a visitor with a wink and say, she's got me well trained.
Is that okay? Do you understand the joke?
No.
Yeah, kind of.
What is it, Gabriel? Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You have to understand the vocabulary, but it's pretty well straightforward. What is she saying, Gabriel?
I think I was only not sure about the wink.
Wink, yeah, to wink is to do this, you know, to wink. Is to close one eye. If you want to make a little joke with somebody, you know, you wink at somebody and you say, you know, we understand each other. Dá uma piscadela, né? To wink is dar uma piscadela.
So she is joking about that the repression, it's only for women, and then for men, men do not receive 15 lashes for making a tea for their wives, and joking like I was prepared, I was well trained.
Exactly.
Like
yes,
I'm a good husband.
Yeah. So they don't get 50 lashes for being a good husband. Yeah, exactly. But a woman can get 50 lashes for adultery or for not wearing a headscarf. No, 50 lashes. I don't know how many lashes, 20 lashes, 10 lashes, 5 lashes is too much, right? Already. Do you know what lashes are? Yeah, you understand lashes. Yeah, this is the typical punishment in Afghanistan, in Iran. This is typical punishment, is giving people 50 lashes, which is so primitive, so horrible. Yeah.
Yes.
We are famed for our hospitality. We dance for fun when sober. And
yeah, this is, did you understand this? We dance for fun when sober. Because in Iran, they can't drink alcohol, okay? Alcohol is something you cannot have in Iran. The Ayatollah regime forbids alcohol. But they still dance, even sober, without drinking alcohol, they dance. So even when sober. In Brazil, in the West, I guess we only dance when we're drunk. I don't know. I don't drink and I dance, so maybe we dance without getting drunk. Okay.
when sober. And over half of university students in Iran are women. Iran has a highly educated female population who are not allowed the basic human right of keeping their hair uncovered. Sorry.
I knew you would.
I knew I would.
Don't blame me.
Okay, sorry.
Take your time.
You got both my cultures there.
Yeah.
Crying for Iran and sorry, I'm British.
So what happened there? What happened?
I think because she remembered that women are dead because the regime, the culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what happened to her? What happened? She was telling a joke and then she stopped. What happened?
Because she was emotional.
She was emotional. She got emotional. Yeah. She got emotional. Yeah, of course. She is Iranian. I mean, anybody can get emotional with this horrible story, right? But particularly an Iranian woman. But then she says that what's the joke about the two cultures, that she has the two cultures, Iranian culture and British culture? What's the joke at the end here?
Because the British never cry.
Never cry. That's true. British people, they're very discreet. They don't like to show their emotions in public. The Queen Elizabeth II, she was super discreet. She never showed her emotions in public. And this is the British way. So she's playing with this, you know, I'm apologizing because I'm emotional. This is very British. British people, they apologize if they get too emotional, right? Okay.
For our hospitality, we dance for fun when sober. And over half of university students in Iran are women. Iran has a highly educated female population who are not allowed the basic human right of keeping their hair uncovered. Sorry.
I knew you would.
I knew I would.
Don't blame me.
Okay, sorry.
Take your time.
You got both my cultures there.
Yeah.
Crying for Iran and sorry, I'm British. I'm so sorry, I'm crying and emotional.
Do you want me to make you a hot cup of tea to make it all better?
Oh, I've got her well trained. Mahsa Amini was arrested and beaten by the morality police for not correctly wearing her headscarf. It didn't quite cover her hair. Hardliners and the morality police insist women should be covered to protect themselves. So they are doing this to protect women. We don't want women getting harmed, so to protect them, we will arrest them, beat them, and murder them. Perfect sense. It's like saying, my beloved cat has got fleas. Grab the lighter. We're setting fire to Dr. Sprinkles.
Okay. Any questions here? What did you understand this part?
What's murder?
Murder. Yeah, to murder a person is to kill a person violently. To kill. Yeah, murder. Yeah. And so, any vocabulary questions here? Here at the end, there were some words. Do you have any vocabulary questions?
It's like saying, my beloved cat has got fleas.
What are fleas?
Grab the lighter.
Right.
What?
We're setting.
Fleas is pulga.
Right. The small insect on cats and dogs and sometimes on people. And so the cat has fleas. Grab the lighter. What's a lighter?
When the thing that matches a cigarette, that fires a cigarette.
Yeah. So, the verb is to light. You light a cigarette.
Okay.
Acender cigarro is to light a cigarette. And so the instrument is a lighter. You use a lighter to light a cigarette. So what's the joke, Rafa, about, so the cat has fleas, grab a lighter. We're setting fire to Dr. Sprinkles. What is that joke? What is that comparison with the women?
Dr. Sprinkles, the name of the cat is?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. But she's being sarcastic again, and like the police say they are doing this to protect the women, but they are not. They are piorando.
They're making the situation worse.
They're making the situation worse, and she are in an example with her cat. That's the same thing. She are speaking like she's helping, but no, she's making the situation worse. She's taking fire on her cat because they have fleas.
Setting fire, right? To set fire to something. Como é que fala em português? Incendiar, não, tacar fogo, né? Tocar fogo, to set fire,
Setting fire to Dr. Sprinkles. Right now in Iran, men of all ages are marching in the street with women who have their hair uncovered. In this moment, it feels like these brave people, not their oppressors, are the ones who get to write history. Most of them are heartbreakingly young and have hopes and ambitions like we all do. They're your sisters, your friends, your daughters. They shouldn't have a care in the world other than to study, party, travel, and take selfies with Dr. Sprinkles. But today, instead, they are running headlong into a deadly, bloody battle. Their headscarves cast aside, fighting for freedom, fighting for the right to express themselves, the right to have control over their own bodies, and the right to feel the wind in their hair.
So she doesn't end with a joke, right? She ends with a message. So what do you think? Is it possible? Did she do a good job? Is it a good, I don't know, was it respectful in terms of making humor with something that is so recent and so tragic?
Yes, I think so. I think humor, it's not only for you to laugh about it and forget it. I think humor can provoke thoughts and things, and to be critical to things that are on the daily life of people. So
I think so
This
too.
show is a kind of protest.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is possible. I don't think it's easy. I think it's very difficult to be able to do this. I don't know if she was not Iranian, somebody else could do this, right? Because she's Iranian, maybe she has the possibility of doing it. But anyway, she does something that is not easy to do, which is to make humor and critical humor with something that is so tragic and so sad. So good job, Shapi. What's her name? Shapi Horandi. Her name is Shapi Horsandi. Yeah. So good job, well done. Okay. So that's humor for you. Okay, tomorrow, I think we're going to continue with this. There is still a few things that we can talk about. There are some discussions on the article that we were reading together. We can discuss a little bit freedom, Iran, so we can have some discussions, so we can talk more tomorrow. And there's also a very nice film that I can recommend you. It's a few years old, that tells you a little bit the story of the 1979 revolution, the Ayatollah Khomeini revolution in Iran. The name of the film is Argo, and it was directed by Ben Affleck. Have you seen this film?
No, the name is not Strange. I think I saw.
You may have seen it. So
Argo.
tomorrow, Argo, Ben Affleck directed it.
They was filming. They were doing a film. They are in the middle.
Right.
That film.
So
Okay.
tomorrow we can see the trailer. We can discuss this film. It's a great film to watch and understand a little bit better what happened in 1979 in Iran.
Could you write for us?
The name? Yeah.
Yes.
Argo. It's a true story too.
Argo.
So it's yeah. But we can watch the trailer tomorrow, discuss it, and then if you find it interesting, you can watch it. It's a good film to watch. It's informative and interesting, and it's also exciting, isn't it, Rafa? It's an adventure film.
It's
in
a
way.
very nice film. Yeah.
It's political, it's historical, but it's an adventure too. So it's a little comic too. So I like the film. I think it's a good film. Anyway, so we can watch this, discuss this a little bit tomorrow, and continue talking about Iran. I also want to go into grammar a little bit if we have time. So, okay. So
teacher.
I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
See you.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you there.
Bye-bye.